What's your idea of paradise? Is it a place, or is it a place of mind, a perspective on everything that you encounter? For example, what about these Mexican chickens? Are you in paradise? What do you think? Have you got everything you need? I can see you've got some maize in your tin there. You've very lovely colours. Very lovely colours. You've got fresh water, some shade. How about you? Are you in paradise? Well, if you were anywhere else and you had maize or wheat or whatever and water, would that be paradise? Or is it just a state of mind? That's what we're asking this morning. Well, how about this? My idea of paradise is a walk to a coffee shop, but I get these lovely, beautiful Mexican red flowers as part of the deal, part of the walk. I'm visiting my daughter Laura in Oaxaca, and I said to her this morning before breakfast, as she was watering the exotic plants in her garden, this is paradise. And it is. And oh goodness me, there's such beautiful rose here. Beautiful red rose. Now we have roses in England, but it's 6 degrees in England at the moment. It's 28 degrees here in Oaxaca in Mexico. Which one is paradise? Perhaps both, with the right mindset. Wouldn't you want flowers like this in your paradise? Well, here they are in mine, and a deep blue sky. So what's in your paradise? Is there anything missing right now where you are in your part of the world? We have everything we need, I would suggest, including here we have a lovely coffee shop which I shall be visiting a little later. Give them a wave. We have food and water and shade most of the time. And if you're watching this on YouTube, of course you are, it means you've got access to the internet and a computer or a tablet or a mobile phone. And that means you're in the top, I don't know, 10% of the world's population with affordable instant access to the internet. Paradise. Some might say a dystopia. So, what's in your paradise? Everything you need. What's wrong? Nothing missing. Anything wrong? A friend of mine, Neil, who meditates regularly in the morning in church with John and I call him the crazy Buddhist. He's lovely. The only disadvantage is he's a Stoke City supporter, which has not had the best of times recently. And one of Neil's favourite sayings to me over coffee is from his many years Buddhist tradition. He likes to say, "This is it." And that's not in a fatalistic sense. This is it, suck it up. It's more, this is it Isn't it amazing? And there's, hola, buenos dias. And there's this oft used expression, certainly by me, you don't see the world as it is, you see the world as you are. So as you are you in paradise or somewhere else? Nothing wrong, nothing missing. No, it's not the Taj Mahal, if you're familiar with that monument in India. This is the local church, Iglesia, in San Agustin, near Oaxaca, in the hills, in the beautiful hills. A white, painted, it's not marble, it's painted plaster, I think, with a bell on top and a balcony. I wonder who rings the bell. I wonder who stands on that balcony and gives an address. And it's got it's not copper, an aluminium steeple with an interesting cross on the top. Let's have a closer look at that. Wow. It's both, I find it, don't know about you, I find it both inviting and daunting. Daunting. What does that mean? Inviting that somebody has been so inspired, presumably by God. I don't know if you could say a Mexican God or a Christian God or even just a capital G God, but inspired clearly nonetheless, and patronized, not in the sense of being talked down to, but some very wealthy patrons have coughed up a lot of pesos to build that in, I'm guessing, it's not that old. I think that's actually, that could even be 19th century, I'm guessing, middle of the 19th century. And this little pueblo may have been a hillside cooler retreat, because we're quite high here for somebody who made their money in the city. The local city is Oaxaca, 40 minutes away, which is a bustling colonial architecture city with modern business. And so I'm guessing in the mid-19th century there were wealthy patrons who paid for this. Next door there's actually what is now an art centre with gallery spaces, but also workshops. And I don't know if there are any events on. I shall find out whilst I am here. Why did I use the word daunting? Maybe even threatening. Which God are we talking about? That you would build such an imposing edifice to it. I have travelled and visited many churches, both Christian and in Srinagar, in Kashmir. I visited a mosque, and they very kindly let me sit with the men. Of course, the men and women are separated. Oh, here's a lovely...
Señoras amas de casa, llegaron las tortillas hasta la puerta de su hogar. Mande por sus tortillas.
They have adverts blaring out on tannoys across the valley here at 7 a.m. every morning to wake everybody up and advertise the local produce or events. Not a bad idea, but you don't really want that at 7 o'clock in the morning. Yes, I visited a mosque in Srinagar and felt very at home, actually. Just a place of worship, And then afterwards, in a cafe next door in the market, I was spotted and propositioned by a member of the Kashmir Resistance Army, or whatever the initials are of their fight for independence, and tried to recruit me into their resistance back in the UK. Well, of course, part of the intimidation of a religious building like this is its history, for sure. Not all good. And when I visited a very ornate Anglican church in Goa, yes, that Goa, hippie Goa in Western India, some years ago, there were statues of, I presume, I took them to be English saints, in marble, and the local Indian women in their saris and fineries and nose chains. I found it very disconcerting when they came into this huge church space and they kissed the feet of these stone English pale-faced saints. And that was it for me. I sat down and I prayed to God, right, that's it, no more of this. I can't do with this obeisance to I wanted to say a foreign god, but of course God has no nationality, whoever or whatever God is. And I rarely, apart from every morning in Bakewell Church with John when I'm there, set foot in a church again. Although I do like to visit churches still, it's true, but I'm not a fan of the establishment. That doesn't mean I would tick the box spiritual, not religious. I would like to think, well, for what it's worth, I'm sort of post-spiritual, post-religious. Doesn't matter anymore. Certainly wouldn't try and convince you one way or the other. I'm reminded of when I was in Sheffield city centre. There's a main pedestrian precinct called Fargate. It used to have a fountain, but everybody it used to get abused by fountain divers. And I was approached by a schoolboy with a sort of probably a hoodie, a logo with the logo of their school and a clipboard. Do you mind answering a few questions? I said, no, go on, shoot. And he was a bit sheepish. The first question he asked was, do you believe in God? And quite naturally and without any trickery, I said, which one? And he went away. And so if somebody asks me now, do I believe in God? I don't say which one. I say I don't need to believe in God. You only believe in something that somebody has told you about that you haven't experienced. So my experience of God is both immanent, here and now, in those beautiful red flowers we've just seen, and transcendent. And I'm afraid immanent and transcendent doesn't really translate into a big, white, expensive symbol of authority for me. No more, thanks. One of my favourite local cafes for lunch. They do a very nice lunch there, and this appears to be Roberto Bolaño, and smoking, well, looks like a cigarette, not a joint, but looks to be a writer and a traveller with his typewriter and his suitcase and his black cat, apparently. I associate with Alberto Bolaño. I like to write and I like to travel. Even though my flight was cancelled a couple of days ago, they very kindly put us up in the Hilton Hotel at Heathrow, and so we had a free night of luxury and the most extensive selection of breakfast goodies you've ever seen in your life. There are many different ways to live, it turns out, and this is one alternative. One of the many things I appreciate about Mexico, or at least the parts of Mexico which I have visited a few times, which is here near Oaxaca in the center, is each little pueblo has a very great sense of community and identity, and they love their fiestas, especially the Day of the Dead, Dia de Muertos. And here's an advertisement for Muerteado Vista Hermosa 2022, and they love their dead, well, and they love their symbols of the dead. This skeleton Grim Reaper, well, it's actually, if you know the famous painting of Jesus with the lantern knocking on the door, this is a sort of a parallel take on that. This is the Grim Reaper knocking on the door. Not quite sure what to make of that.